This is a fun fact about me, but I do caricatures like a couple of times a month. And there was this girl, like a little girl last week, that came back after I drew her and was like, "Can I draw you?" And then she made this, which is so cute. I believe that a lot of people, not all people that drink alcohol, but a lot of them, center it in their lives in such a way where it's detrimental to their ability to enjoy things. I was at my friend's very large family gathering a few years ago, and she was trying to encourage us to go out there. The music was really loud, and she was like, "Come on guys, let's go dancing. The dance floor is open." And I remember she said, "It's actually fun once you get a few drinks in." And that statement sat with me, or it still does. I guess because I realized that my friends include alcohol in their assessment of how fun things are, or that they needed it to like release their inhibitions to be okay with dancing. Those friends specifically actually don't really even bother me with their drinking habits, but I just thought it was such a revealing statement about like society or whatever. Do you guys like my corn shirt? I got it at their concert. So I'm sober over any other reasoning, over vanity, over convenience, over safety. The primary reason I don't drink is just because I don't like how it tastes. I don't care enough about being drunk to push past how bad alcohol tastes. It's not even like the worst thing I've ever tasted. Like, I've taken sips to taste of beer and liquor and wine and such, but I just don't care enough about being drunk to sit through a drink that I don't even like. People tend to say, "Oh, you can't even taste it. Like, it tastes like juice." And like, yeah, if you regularly drink alcohol, it does taste like juice to you, doesn't it? If you're a non-participant like me, you're gonna taste it. My other biggest reason for not drinking, and this is ridiculously superficial, but alcohol does things to your appearance. Specifically, it ages you. I am not spending money on sunscreen and retinol and having this extensive skincare routine so I can leisurely participate in something that reverses all of that work. At a certain level, at a level that might even be considered casual participation, you are just at a standstill at some point, at some level. Wait, I don't like this light color, hold on. These two reasons were like the reasons I decided to be sober. And then as I kept going, I kept encountering reasons to stay sober. You very much save money on alcohol, but you also like save money on the Uber there and back. I don't have to waste time in line for drinks. We'll get to that later. The other thing I encountered was people being assholes about it. And I'm gonna make this video, and I know that someone's gonna have the impulse probably to be like, "Well, no one's pressuring you to drink." And like, maybe not directly, but being rude about it like punishes you for being sober, which I regard as pressure. There was a time I was planning to go clubbing with a group of friends that I hadn't really partied with before. The planning for this went on for like 2 months, and during those 2 months there was no shortage of talk about my sobriety specifically. I never brought it up on my own, I never said anything, but they always did. I heard, "Just have one drink, just have a little fruity drink, just do one shot, come on." For months, and I was polite every time. I was like, "No, I'm good." I, honest to God, like, I tried not to even engage with the conversation about my sobriety, and it was impossible because they could not let it go. It was like a week before the thing. I'm in a room with one of these people, and they say, "I just don't want you to get tired and start complaining and then want to go home." Like, implicitly because I wouldn't be drunk. And this statement really upset me because I was suddenly aware that people thought I was, like, boring, like, incapable of partying. They believed that my sobriety meant I would be a stick in the mud and I would like slow down their night. But after all of this talk, guess who was asked to be the designated driver, guys? Guess who? After how lame I was, how boring I was, "Oh, well, Confetti should drive, she's sober." But it was like her birthday, so I did it. And that night, I danced the longest, I stood the longest, and I partied the hardest. I only stopped for water. I held their drinks while they went to pee because they broke the seal. And midnight rolled around and I still had hours left in me. The club was banging, the beat was pumping, and suddenly one of them was like, "Oh, I can't go anymore, I'm too drunk." So I had to get this super drunk person into my car and drive them home, cutting my night short, essentially, because I would have been there until like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. probably. And after this, they wanted to keep going for some reason, so we had an after party at like this other person's place, but one of them was like way too drunk to be functional, so instead of having an after party, it was a take care of this really drunk person party. We were just having awkward conversation while one of them helped them throw up in the bathroom. You know what? After all of that, I didn't hear nothing about it again. People calling me boring has always been weird to me because I think that, like, if I'm able to reach the same level of energy and chattiness and willingness to dance in front of other people as a person hopes to obtain by getting drunk, but I'm completely sober, why does that make me the boring one? Like, implicitly, the people calling me that, like, need alcohol to loosen up. Like, if you need alcohol to feel the freedom to do what I do sober, wouldn't that make you the uptight one? Like, if you need a drink to feel free? Unless you equate partying exclusively with drinking and nothing else, but that's alcoholism. I do karaoke sober. But when I talk to others about going out for karaoke, they're like, yeah, it sounds fun, but I need a shot first. I'm too nervous. I was also nervous the first time I did karaoke. What I did instead of drinking was I just kept doing it over and over again until I found the initial nerves tolerable. Maybe I'm more comfortable on stage or in front of people than others. It doesn't really seem like anyone's doing this sober when they're at a karaoke bar, so I don't know what to expect. Some people I've noticed don't even consider things worth doing unless you're drinking. Like, to them, it's like, what's the point of going dancing, going out, going to hang out in someone's place, or swimming if you're not drinking? Like, it's wasted time to them otherwise. That's casual alcoholism, and it's totally normalized in society. I went to the Renaissance Fair with some friends a few years ago, and we wasted, I'm not even joking, like, collectively hours waiting in line for mead. Mead is like their beer, their on-theme beer that they have. And it's different to be like, oh, the mead here is so good, I have to get some, or it's a tradition for me to have mead when I go to the Ren Fair. But that wasn't the attitude. The attitude was, I need to be tipsy. And we would be walking around and it would be fine, and then someone would pipe up and be like, oh, I can feel the mead wearing off. Do you guys want to go stand in line? And then we would waste like 30 minutes standing in line because God forbid you sober up. God forbid we experience this sober. And these stories I just told, like, I don't really regularly hang out with these people. In general, I think I'm always going to get flack from people that I honestly believe could stand to drink less. I never hear anyone with a healthy relationship with alcohol saying stuff like that. Sometimes, like, family or friends will offer me shots, but they're not doing it in like a pressure way. They just like want me to feel included. I know you don't drink, but I just want you to feel included if you wanted to give it a try. And like, that's different. Like, they just want me to feel like I'm allowed to hang out with them. Once it becomes like clear to people that you really for real are not going to drink with them, people switch up. And I've had to distance myself a lot because of that from these people. I don't think alcohol is some societal evil in the same way that I don't think vaping or smoking is. But I do think, at least in America, alcoholism is encouraged through like subtle propaganda that I think we should be examining a little more closely. The wine mom culture comes to mind. Phrases like mama needs some wine, or like referring to wine as mom juice. Really anything that regards dependency on alcohol with the same level of casual that we regard coffee dependency, I think is like low-key propaganda. To be fair, like, I believe motherhood is very miserable for a lot of people because we designed society for it to be that way. I'm not blaming moms for experiencing misery. I'm just saying it's weird that this sort of stuff went under the radar so long as like not straight up alcoholism. Anyway, to anyone writing a hate comment right now, my only rule is you can't say anything calling me a clown in a derogatory way instead of the way where it's like my identity. You have to be more creative than that. I believe in you. Okay, bye!